Hey Gemini, welcome to September 2018. My name is Colleen, thanks for watching. I'm just shuffling up the cards here so we can see what messages we have for the month for you. Okay, one just dropped right out. That was easy enough. I'm waiting for a couple more, and as I'm waiting for these cards to present themselves, just want to talk about what's going on in the sky for a little bit. Mercury and Mars just went direct, and as I've been saying in all the videos, with all of the retrogrades and eclipses that we've been experiencing over the last couple months, it's been a call for us to really slow down and pay attention to what's really important. What's really important to us, what can be let go, and like either put on the back burner or just given up, you know what I mean? So, and there's also been lots of lessons that needed to be learned with all of these eclipses. Whoa. And I feel like the Mercury retrograde and then shifting direct helped us to really clarify verbally what it is that we've been experiencing, and being able to really articulate what it is that we actually desire for ourselves as we move forward in our lives. And Mars retrograde, Mars going direct, is like that green light saying it's okay for us to move forward now. It's a time for action now that Mars is now going direct, or has gone direct. But I feel like it's going to be like I'm hearing bumpy ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride to start until we really gain our footing. It's going to be a slow start, but there's movement, there's momentum there. So don't lose the faith. If you feel like things aren't moving as fast as you would like to with your Gemini mind, there's that desire to keep up with the pace of your thoughts. But the last couple of months has taught us how to, hopefully has taught us how to slow down. And hopefully our thoughts have slowed down with it. Otherwise, I'm sure we'd probably be going crazy. It certainly has for me. My thoughts have definitely chilled out over the last couple months. Let me know if that's been the same experience for you. I mean, there were definitely times where it wasn't, but okay, that's way too many cards. So many cards keep wanting to come out right now. Okay. We also have Saturn retrograde is going to be turning direct on September 6th. And I feel like that's where our first test comes in. But we will find out what that is. One Spirit gives me a message. Thank you. As soon as I ask, that's when I get it. Maybe that's a message. You're only going to get what you ask for. So Spirit, please show me what Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising needs to know for September 2018. So far, we have the Six of Wands and we have the Death card. And I feel like that is saying with recognition comes a closure, or with more recognition. Okay, great, thank you. So I'm feeling like with the more acknowledgement that we get for our achievements, the easier it becomes to release what was holding us back, if that makes sense. I mean, that's pretty easy and obvious to kind of say, that, you know, the more we receive acknowledgement for our achievements, the more confidence we start to build, and it creates more momentum, and that makes it easier for us to let go of self-doubt and things of that nature. But I also feel like this is so with that last eclipse, it has presented us this gateway for all of us for the opportunity for us to step through, and whether we want to step through or not is really entirely up to us. And I feel like with Gemini, I feel like it's a significant gateway. It's like, so I've been saying for all the other signs that this gateway, a lot of people have been talking about it as like a new life that we're stepping into. But really, we have our past experiences, and we're still in this life. It's not like we're, ending this life and starting a new one. So it's like we're continuing, but with more wisdom and maturity as we move forward. So it's more so a new phase in our lives rather than a new life in general. But I do feel like for Geminis, it's going to feel like a completely new life, because so many things are going to be shifting and changing, because the more we gain our confidence, the more we're letting go of all of the self-esteem issues of the past, if we've had them. And I do feel like that is something that Gemini definitely struggles with. Gemini on the outside is really gets everyone in a great mood, knows how to have fun, has great conversations, but I know a lot of Geminis who put that out there, but really inside they're a completely opposite way. They're the completely different way on the inside. And I feel like who we are on the outside is going to be syncing up with how we feel on the inside. Meaning that if we're feeling low on the inside, I feel like that is being transformed to match who we present ourselves to the world to be, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's definitely going to be a self-esteem boost coming up, which is wonderful. But in stepping into that energy, we have to let go of, we have to let go of a part of ourselves that holds us back. And that may, and I feel like what is holding us back could be, different relationships. It could be, just criticism from people in the past that we've held on to. It could be anything, really. But I feel like when Saturn goes direct at September 6th, so around the end of the first week into the second week is when we're going to start to feel this first test. And this test is really like everything that you have learned over the last couple months with all of these eclipses and these epiphanies that we've had with these retrogrades. We've learned things about ourselves, and we have understood that in order for us to level up, we need to have a new commitment to ourselves, and we have to a commitment to shift who we are so that we can step into who we want to be. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like Saturn is testing us to see how committed we are to this new way of being. It's like we know that this is something that we need to shift into, and now that Mars is direct, this is a time for action. So we have to really put our money where our mouth is and really walk our talk now. And Saturn is testing us to see if we are actually going to do the work. Are you going to walk your talk? Are you going to step into your confidence and step out into the world again and allow yourself to be seen for who you really are? Are you going to, step your game up is really what I'm hearing. I feel like we've been doing really well for the last couple months, but I feel like there was some kind of dip that happened, and then now this past month there was some kind of realization, and now it's like, okay, now we've learned something, now we have to implement that into our lives, and Saturn's testing us to see if we're actually going to do it. I feel like what is going on is in regards to relationships, and ending, how if there's an ending in relationships, there could be a breakup occurring in the middle of the month, or it could be an ending in how you handle your relationships, an ending in how you present yourself in relationships. And I feel like in doing that, there's definitely something here about relationships that has been making you feel less than towards the end of the month. And I feel like this is something that is going to be worked on as we move into October. There's a challenge here in regards to relationships, whether it's friendships or whether it's significant other relationships or coworker relationships, family relationships. Something is needing to be turned around. And I feel like with this stepping into your self-esteem and matching who you are on the outside with who you are on the inside, syncing that energy up, I feel like in order to continue that energy, we need to get really reconnected with our intuition again. And in doing that, it's going to help us with how we interact within relationships in general. And here we have the moon in reverse, and here you can see this panther. Well, really, when it's upright, it's like a little black cat looking into a reflection in the water and seeing like this massive panther. Like, this is how you see yourself. This is you knowing that you are confident, and you are bigger than you really seem. You know what I mean? There's definitely this confidence level of how you see yourself. But here it's in reverse, and it's saying that you are a lot bigger than you perceive yourself to be. You are more capable of achieving. You're able to achieve a lot more than you think that you are able to. And you can see the level of self-esteem that is occurring here, when it's like, here, this is who you really are, and this is how you see yourself. It's like seeing yourself as less than who you are meant to be. And there is a stepping into, so it's going to feel a little frazzly this month, but we are stepping into who we are meant to be. And we'll start to really feel that towards October, as long as we are doing the work, as long as we are putting ourselves out there and not hiding away, and really accepting that we are closing a major chapter in our lives. We are stepping into a new major phase in our lives. We are walking through, and this is also a perfect representation of this gateway that I was just talking about. In order for you, it's like, here we are in the void, basically. We've stepped through this one door. So from our past life meaning who we are in this life, just, the past. Not a different lifetime, I'm talking about this life. Our past, we step through and we shut that door behind us. But in order for us to continue into this new phase and level up into this new phase of our lives, we have this test of cutting that cord to who we once were. And that's when that door will open and allow us through. So that's the test from Saturn. We have to let go of who we once were. And I'm wondering if that's why I've been feeling pretty nostalgic this week. I've been definitely in a 90s vibe. And I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I just recently posted different paintings that I did of the MTV logo from back in the 90s, that style. And I've just been really feeling it, playing the 90s music, all that stuff, getting my nostalgia on. And I'm wondering if that's why it's coming up, because it's and my dreams lately have all been of me at a younger age. Me in high school, with braces on and my school uniform on and all this stuff. I haven't even tried to interpret it yet, but I'm realizing now as I'm doing this reading that, myself from my childhood and my past are coming up in my dreams, and I'm doing these paintings and reflecting on the 90s and getting really nostalgic and stuff like that, and I feel like that's being released. We're letting it go of who we once were and accepting who we are now and where we're going. There's an acceptance that needs to occur during this time. I feel like Saturn is testing us to really accept where we are. It's really easy for Gemini to be either years ahead, trying to make sense of everything, or years in the past trying to make sense of everything. So for us to be right here in the now is a big deal. So I feel like that's very important for us this month. So I do recommend getting into a meditation practice. There's this app called Headspace, and it talks you through meditation. Is awesome, and you can do as little as 3 minutes, or you can do up to 10. It's free. It gives you options to pay, but you don't have to. So I definitely recommend downloading that this month if you have trouble getting into a meditative practice. But I feel like that's really important for us to stay present and really accept where we are right now and who we are, and allowing ourselves to be out in the open. Stop hiding who we are. Stop hiding our beautiful talents and skills and things like that, and bring it out into the world again. And then there's something, and that will help us to flip around how we interact with others, our partnerships, whether romantic or work related. That's going to help shift everything around, because we will step into our most authentic selves is really what's going on. It's when you put yourself out there and allow yourself to be seen, the only way you're going to feel comfortable is if it's your most authentic self, instead of trying to be what you think people want you to be. So there's also that coming up as well. That's when the self-esteem really starts to come up, because you will see that everyone's going to accept you for exactly who you are. You don't have to try to be somebody else. And yeah, the self-esteem is definitely coming back this month. You're going to go through some challenges to test it for it to really come out. But you'll start to really feel it as the months continue and as other planets go direct. I'm going to pull a card from the Fairy Oracle card deck and see what our fairy friends have to say. I also feel like there's a level of heart opening occurring again for this month for us. As I'm seeing the Lover's card in reverse, I feel like maybe everything that we've been going through with the eclipses and the retrogrades has kind of shut us down a little bit and closed us off, and now this is a time of actively opening our hearts again in all relationships, whether romantic or otherwise, you know, friendships and, you know, family and work and things like that. Because I'm feeling it, like, right here. This feels like a deep level of truth for us, Gemini. Oh, God. Okay. Practice, practice, practice is the card that came up. With daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. And that is, like... that is where I struggle the most. I don't know if that's how it is for other Geminis out there. So definitely creating a routine for yourself to incorporate whatever it is that you're trying to bring out into the world. Whether it doesn't have to be like, you know, in the social media world. It could just be in your own personal world. But like whatever it is that you're trying to bring out again, incorporate that into your daily rituals or routine, however you want to, you know, word it. But like when you wake up in the morning, like what is it that you want to bring out again? Is it like, you know, a yoga practice? Like how you felt, when did you feel your best in your life? Like I know that I felt really great when I was doing yoga daily. And I loved how I felt. I felt very positive and you know, at peace with the way things are. So maybe I would want to start incorporating yoga into my daily practice again and really, you know, small increments at a time and just add more time to the practice as time goes on so I don't set myself up for failure. You know what I mean? Anything that's going to help to bring that self-esteem back out. Really, this is like a self-nurturing that's going on this month for us so that we can feel comfortable to come out into the world again and really show the world what we're made of. Because we have amazing gifts that the world really needs. The world really needs Geminis out in the world. We are the communicators, we are the conduits and the channelers of just love and joy and fun, and we need to bring that out again. And we have to retrain ourselves to feel confident enough to come, you know, to bring those awesome gifts out into the world again. So practice, practice, practice. It may, you know, you may feel like really on one day, and other days you may feel like I don't want to do anything, and that's where the practice comes in, and you really like self-train yourself to just make it a normal daily part of your life. So I hope that makes sense for you, Gemini. Please let me know how this resonates with you. Leave me comments below, and I send you so much love, and I will see you in October. Have a great September. Take care.